We have received this HP 14 laptop, and it is having a turning on. It does not turn on when we plug the power in. Only this light turns on, the charging light. When I try to turn it on, it does not turn on. You can see there is no power, there is no display, just only the charging light. It displays only the charging light. When I just disconnect the power and connect it, and even I push the power button, nothing there, no fan noise, no display at all. Okay, let's see how we can fix this HP 14 laptop. Okay, first of all, we are just going to open it, take apart, and to see how we can check it. Some of the screws are missing. Cover is broken from here. You can see the line. There is a line over here. Just be careful if anything happens like this. Need to be very careful, otherwise we're gonna crack the whole back cover. The first thing, we need to take off the battery, otherwise we will do more short on motherboard if we drop any screw on it. The first thing, make sure to remove the battery. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 screws. 7 is here. Now the first thing what we will do, we will plug the charger in to see what activity it does without the battery. There will not be any charging light. Now it is a normal light. I'm just pressing the power button. See any activity? Yes, we can see. Fan spins and stop for about a second. If I press again and check it, it does the same thing. And no display. Let's see what's gonna happen now, because second time I press the power button and fan keeps spinning. Sometimes it takes time to really get the display. We will wait for about a minute. Yes, we got the display. Just only by removing the battery, we got the display on the laptop. More likely, we haven't solved any problem with it, because it happened. It just lost the display. Now we are going to find out the issue. What's the problem in it? So more likely there must be a corrosion or dust, or may require a little bit of service of the motherboard. In that case, because if I just put the battery back and give it back to customer, the customer will gonna go home. This fault may gonna come again. The only thing what we can do over here, we are just going to remove everything and do a little bit of service, because this looks like his customer is having a hinges issue as well. Just be careful if you are having a hinges problem. Without the back cover, if you are moving this up and down, it will gonna break more. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to remove the entire motherboard and do a little bit of service to see if we can prevent this issue in the future to really come. Okay, now I'm just going to turn off and start servicing this laptop. Better to turn off, just shutting down. Most of the problem comes most of the time when we remove the battery and turn the laptop on. It turns on, but actually what it does, it just reset the power in the motherboard, but it does not actually solve the problem. Most of the time, like if there is a short through the power IC gets stopped. If there is a problem of a corrosion or a rust or dust, we don't know where the problem came. If the problem came from charger, like a over voltage, and the power IC stopped working, in that case you can say this laptop will be working fine. But we're not gonna take the risk. We're gonna do the service in it and to see how we can move forward. The first thing what we are going to do now over here, as soon as we just remove the power and remove the battery, there is no power inside the motherboard, and now we are going to, it is safe to work on it. We are going to remove the hard drive. This is the SSD drive customer installed in it. Okay, here I'm going to remove the keyboard connector. At this stage, actually do not let the customer know that the laptop is on, because if you are going to let him know that the laptop is on and after you just plug it back again and problem comes again, then there is a problem. You always try to service the laptop before even calling customer. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to just remove motherboard. I'm just unscrewing the motherboard screws, removing speaker connector, removing M2. Do not remove the RAM until unless you just take off the motherboard and see, because most of the time when we remove the RAM, there is a sort of a display issue, because first we are going to do a service and find out the issue, and after doing the service we're going to put back everything again to see if everything works fine. Then we will remove first RAM, clean it and put it back to see the display, and then the second RAM. In this case we will be sure that the problem is not from the RAM side or from the motherboard side. Just removing the fan screws, sorry. This is the fan connector. Removing Wi-Fi. Trackpad ribbon. This is the secondary board. We are going to remove it. Removing the ribbon of a secondary board. Motherboard screw. And this is the motherboard screw here as well. Just lift the motherboard a little bit to see if there is no screw or a ribbon left. Do it gently. Removing speakers. Again, this is the display cable left. We are going to remove it. And this is the DC jack connector. Be very careful with this DC jack connector because there are too many tiny resistors around. Okay, these are the this is the hinge. We are going to remove it. I'm just pushing the rotating the hinge a little bit to really, yeah, it is, there is one more screw left. I'm rotating the hinge and releasing the DC jack. Now I'm sure the motherboard will be fine after that. Okay, there is a little bit of dust in it, and we are not going to push. We are not going to really do a hard service on it, because as soon as the laptop is on, we are just going to find out if any of the corrosion or dust around ICs, or if any of the capacitor uh, has got has got leak in it, or any of the green stuff. You can check around any of the. It's like a you can say, if there is a leak inside the capacitor, you will find signs around. Okay, just I'm okay. I use the petrol to do a service of my motherboard, and you can use alcohol or any of the substance which vaporize, because the main thing is we're not gonna leave any of the substance on it to really get short, because the petrol, I know that it's gonna vaporize easily. That's the reason why I just use the petrol with the brush. The first thing you can do is just clean the motherboard with the help of a dry brush, because if I use a petrol like this, it's gonna the dust is gonna stay over there. I'm just gonna clean it. Best thing is this: you can leave the dust on it and just inspect the board around. Because if I'm gonna just use a brush to clean it, I may gonna miss the area where the problem is. The first thing you can do is inspect thoroughly while the dust on it as in the same condition. I'm just cleaning little bit, and then I will use a petrol if I require. And the main thing is this: you need to check these connectors, because if there are any broken pin, or if the pins are attaching together, that is one of the reason as well. People have this kind of issues. Once we remove the battery and laptop turns on, and then after a couple of hours or in a day, it's gonna turn off back again, when there will be a short again inside USB connector or HDMI connector. Try to clean these pins of a LAN connector, and if there is a short, you just clean it to really prevent prevent the issue to arrive again. It happened many times. I just cleaned the entire motherboard and missed this area, and the problem was there. And customer come back again and complain about the issue, that it is arriving again and it is turning off again. That's the reason why just always make sure to check all the connectors around. Also, one more thing to notice, or you can always check it, if it to see if there is any corrosion around ribbon over here, or any of the ribbon you are connecting to motherboard. uh, that that has to be cleaned, because if there is a corrosion around here, is gonna create a short. I'll just pause the video, clean little bit, and then come back again. Okay, I have done cleaning with the help of a petrol, and now I'm just going to change the thermal paste. These are the four screws. We are going to remove it. It's already paste is not as much dry as it normally, but I will add little bit on it to not have a trouble for a heating issue. Okay, I've just made sure all the screws are there for thermal paste. I'm putting back everything after cleaning the fan, just to make sure to clean the fan as well. I'll put back everything and then I will show you the display. More thing to mention over here, I normally use 350 degree of a heat from a soldering machine if the laptop has no issues or it turning on and it is having a display, because the dryer must be to make sure all the substance like a petrol or alcohol is there, should be dried out. And it is not necessary, but I normally do it. I normally just clean because I just check the laptop straight away. That's the reason why I just do a little bit of heating. Okay, now we have put back everything, and now I'm just going to test the motherboard if it's displaying. Plugging the connector without the battery, pressing the power button. It it spins about twice or thrice, then it's gonna give a display, because first time when I press the power button, it does spin and then stop. Second time, I press the power button, then spins and spins again, then brings the display. It does because the RTC battery reset happens when we remove the battery or a RTC cell from the motherboard. The reason why it's just taking this much time to really get the display. Yeah, now there is a display and the laptop is on. Now we are sure that we have done a service on a motherboard, and um, we can give it back to customer, and as well as we are just going to give warranty of about 1 month, because we haven't replaced any part on it. The reason why it is always fair, I think so, we need to give 1 month warranty at least, because if any IC or a capacitor or resistor is weak and this problem happens again, we can just cover the customer. We can just this is the right strategy, I think so. We are just going to not lose the customer in that case. Okay, now I'm just going to put back the battery and charge for some time, and then I will be back. Okay, I have plugged the battery back, and now I'm turning on to see if everything is fine. Okay, it's giving me a message of a battery damage. The battery capacity is low. That is one of the reason that might be an issue, because if you leave the battery completely dried out and you try to turn on the laptop, in that case that may be the issue as well. But we have done everything whatever we could. Now even the laptop does turn on with the battery, But if your battery is damaged, I will recommend you try to change it, or at least do not let it dry. Yeah, dried out. Like always keep charging while using if the battery is damaged. Or you can do a cycle. Just charge the battery below. Start charging the battery below 10 and remove the charger after 90. Because if you do that way and just run 10 to 15 cycle of the battery like this, if some of the issues with the battery, it's gonna resolve automatically. That's my experience. I'm sure you like the video. I'm just gonna close it. Everything is working fine. Thanks for watching.